Hi everyone. Um, Sorry if there's any repeats this episode. I don't really remember what I talked about the last two or three, and I don't really feel like going back and checking because I might be compelled to delete them forever because of cringe. Anyways, so sorry if anything repeats this episode. But so I had a gummy last night. Not that that's the first time I've had a gummy, and most nights I usually do. But once in a while, a gummy gives me profound insight, accesses or allows me to access parts of my mind that normally I wouldn't otherwise access. That's just bullshit. That's not true. But it makes my thoughts a bit weirder, and then it makes them sound smarter to me when I have them. So I'm sitting here and I'm just like thinking about all kinds of crap that's going wrong in this world. Oh God, it sucks to be an American so bad. It sucks. Sucks. So embarrassing. Now we got a fucking president that farts and, they're catching it on the fucking audio now. Like a farty president. Great. You smelly sack of shit. Like, you sneaky motherfucker. God. Did you guys hear the crap that came out? Anyways, that's a tangent. But, like, seriously, this dude's a slob. But, anyways, I'm sitting here and I'm like, this motherfucker is Hitler. And so then I had the thought of, like, well, when did Hitler die? So Hitler died April 30th, 1945. Evil Dick was born June 14th, 1946, just over a year later. And I remember sitting here like, oh my God, it is Hitler. It's reincarnated. Fucking Hitler jumped into this like little evil dick baby body and it was like, I'm gonna grow up and I'm going to make people's lives miserable and kill people, and it's fucking Hitler. And I was like, oh my God, I was right all along. Like, this is nuts. I know. I get it. But also, it's interesting to think about. So Alicia comes in my room last night telling me she's getting ready to go to bed, and I shared my thought. I was like, get this shit. And I told her, and I was like, why the hell aren't people talking about this? And she goes, well, lots of people don't believe in reincarnation. Okay, thanks. It's not the answer I wanted to hear, you know? Part of me was like, isn't her mind going to be blown too once she realizes what I've discovered? Yeah, okay. Anyways, so sometimes gummies make you have profound thinking, and then the next day you realize, no, that's still profound thinking. It wasn't just the gummies. Anyways, anybody else think this way? Yeah, I do regret that I said that just now, but it's too late. I already said it. Um, Not to mention, I get it. There's like tons of like fucking Hitler type motherfuckers running around this earth. I'm not ignorant to that. They just don't all get the fucking power that this motherfucker has. But anyways, um so regarding my follow-up to all the episodes I've been doing talking about Janice and Nadine next door. I don't remember if I said this one. So, um I had my first interactions with them after the couple of months of like the weirdness between us, and so uh we went next door. Alicia texted, "Hey, can we come over and see the dogs?" Which is code for the dogs. Just kidding. Not for me. It really is. I want to see the dogs, but also there's humans, I guess. So Janice was like, "Sure," and her and Nadine were out back on their deck, and we walked over there, and it was obvious to me that Janice and Nadine felt a bit like awkward. And what was surprising to me is I didn't feel the slightest bit awkward because I have been through a lot in my brain the last couple months about this situation, and I don't have anything to feel awkward about. So that was a new experience for me. Weird. Um Maybe that's what happens when you try to deal with something in a bit more healthy of a way than you're used to doing. I don't know. So we went over there for about an hour and played with the puppies, and I sat down and like we chatted. Our conversations are like never fucking deep. They're never really about anything of like true substance in my opinion. But I do admit it's just one of these relationships that, like, I'm okay, I suppose. I mean, I'm not 100%. Like, I wish that, like, they would talk about real things, but I can't make people do what they aren't used to doing or don't want to do. So I'll take what I can get relationship wise, and they're still nice people. You know, they've been our family for like a very long time. So simple interaction went fine for me. Seemed to go fine for them. Janice offered me a beverage, an adult beverage. And normally, like, my impulse after like some weirdness between people, like, my impulse would be like, oh, no thank you, don't bother with that. But this time I just immediately was like, sure, thanks, because I know for them, me saying yes to an adult beverage for some weird reason makes them feel like really at ease. And Janice was like, oh, I'll go in and make one. And so I was just trying, in my mind, I was like, maybe I just try to keep with the patterns and the things that they're used to doing that makes them feel comfortable in what is obviously seems to be an awkward situation for them. So I just try to keep it normal, and I'm really proud of how that interaction went. And then the following day, I had two interactions with Nadine, and one was when I went outside to bring the garbage cans up after the trash people went by to get the trash, and she was out there, and I was like, I just hear, "Hey!" And I'm reminded that, like, people fucking see me, and I wish I didn't live around all these people. But anyways, so we just had a brief little chat about nothing, and then she brought over a Costco chicken. So, back to normal, I guess. So I thanked her for that, and so things are fine now. Um, so I'm probably done. That's probably it. Talking about the weirdness between all of us. I hope. Anyways, my a mini spiral update. My talking is a bit difficult today, and I'm not apologizing. I'm just stating it as a fact, so that I don't apologize. Because I'm trying to do things differently with my brain. Shut the fuck up, Ange. Okay, moving right along to mini spiral updates. So, I think I have reached the point in my life where I'm a bit more logical than I have ever been. Ever. My wife, Alicia, is the logical one. She always has been. She always helps me see the things that I'm unable to see because of just the way that, like, I look at situations. And like other things I've mentioned recently, the tides are turning a little bit because it seems like I am just starting to take the reins of the logical person in this marriage. Anyways, so Alicia's had this um hold on. Can you boys take it outside or out the room? Come on. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, Paul, go for it. Sorry. So like I do this thing with like the kittens. Like Apollo is my soul kitty and Phil is Alicia's cat. Because he bonds with her better. And so like they're in playful mode right now, and Apollo likes to instigate a lot of the play because he gets bored. And he's chasing Phil around right now and playing the butt biting game, and he's very good at butt biting. He gets some fur here and there. And this morning Phil was kind of an asshole to Xena, our old kitty. She's old, she's elderly. He still fucking goes after her, and so I hope Apollo bites Phil's butt. Anyways, where was I? So Alicia's car made a sound, and it was boom, 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 boom. Like every so often when you back up, when you're just driving, this bitch. This is going on for a couple of weeks now, and she's just driving like this. And I was like, why the hell haven't you done anything about this? And she goes, it's fine. It's not anything to really worry about yet. And this has been our song and dance for the entire time we've known each other. Which to me is funny because when I was in the military for 5 years, I went through one car a year, just about. I went through about four cars. I was never taught by my parents how to take care of a car and take it to the shop and fucking oil changes and stuff. So like in my defense, I was not a very good like caretaker of cars because I wasn't taught about them. And then I met Alicia in my late 20s. That's how long in life I went without knowing how to fucking take care of a car, like a regular person. Um, and she taught me, like, no, you're supposed to take them in for oil changes every month or not every month, but like she taught me like the basics. I was like, wow, okay, thank you. Now I know these basics. I've applied them to my fucking life, my cars. I've been taking better care of them than I've ever taken care of anything in my life regarding a vehicle. Proud of myself because of her. Now she's turning into me. So the sound after a couple of weeks, hold on, my mouth. Sorry if you heard that gross mouth sound. One day I'll get a mic that doesn't pick up any of this shit. Oh, hold on. I gotta take a sip of something. I hope you didn't hear that either. Because misophonia. Sorry, people. Yeah, anyways, so we're getting closer to next week. We're going away, and I'll talk about that in a bit. And her car is the travel car. It always has been. Like, she sticks with Hyundais, I stick with Chevys, and she does most of the driving on all the trips because I just don't like to do all that driving in places I don't know where we are. And she does. So her cars usually have more room, so they're more like comfier to like sit in for long stretches of time. And it just makes more sense. So we always take her car when we go away for trips. Basically, we take her car for everything. Um, and I told her, like, look, we're not taking your car next week because of the sound. Um, I don't feel safe in it. I don't care that you don't seem too worried about it. I mean, I do care, but that's weird. Why aren't you worried about this? Whatever. You're not a mechanic. You don't even know what the fuck is going on, but sure, go ahead, keep driving it, but we're not taking it next week. So she didn't like that. And I'm like, look, if you want to drive so bad, do something about your car. Otherwise, we're taking my car, which is in way better shape than yours, and I'll be doing most of the driving because it's my car. And I love driving my car. I'm even willing to drive in places I don't know because it's my car. I have a hard time with other people driving my car. You know what I mean? It's just my car. I don't want to be a passenger in it. Me and that car are bonded. Anyways, so I just laid it out like that. I was like, so that's your choice. You can decide. So she decided. And I'm going to go ahead and shit all over this car brand. They're called Monroe. Monroe, whatever. Um, we've been going to this brand of garage for a very long time because we're afraid of change. And this was the first brand of like Monroe was like who my parents introduced me to when I moved to the States and became hold on, let me turn my phone off. People are rating me. Um I'll talk to you later. Okay, anyways. So my parents they taught me about this Monroe chain and that's just all I've ever done is go through them. And over the years I've bitched about like how expensive they are and they overcharge and they treat women like pretty poorly in a lot of the locations. Like, we're still fucking dumb. How is this still a thing? We're like, oh, women don't know about cars, so let's just go ahead and say a bunch of things and they'll just agree with whatever we say and they'll pay whatever price we tell them to. Ooh, here comes a gullible woman. Shut the fuck up. So sick of that shit. They're not all like that, but I have run across quite a few mechanics that just have that fucking attitude. I'm sick of it. And so I don't know what's happening to me this year, but I'm ready to make some changes in my life, and changing garages is one of them. So and I'm proud of Alicia. She was going to do something about the car, and she's like, I'm going to take it to Monroe. Can you like come with me so I can drop it off and we can come back? And so I said, thank you for doing something about your car. However, and I pointed out to her, I said, there's a mechanic, a local dude that we've been talking about going to for years, who's like literally up the road. Like, you could walk back. You know what? Not her, but like that's how close he is. And Alicia mentioned wanting to check this dude's garage out years ago. She never went around, she never got around to it. And we don't like change. So I said I highly recommend that we just go ahead and go see him and explain things. And I told her, all the stuff I just said about Monroe. I said, I'm tired of being taken advantage of by these people. We spend too much money on crap. I think that they make up issues sometimes. I said, I just don't trust them. And I want to go local this time. So let's just bring your card to the local person who is probably going to give us a fair price. The dude's got really good reviews. So it made sense to me. She said no. I was like, "Oh, okay," because, she wanted something that she just she just wanted to go with what was normal, and so I understand that, and I wasn't happy about it, but we went. And so she said it was a drop off. I'm going to drop my car off. Please come with me. So I'm waiting in my car for 20 goddamn minutes while she's in there. And I text her because I went through, I think I started this thing. This was a mini spiral update. Sorry about all the tangents, but finally the spiral. And I'm in my car and I'm texting her because she's inside the garage place. And I'm like, I thought you said we were just dropping your car off. I've been in here 20 minutes. This is a waste of my time. And like, I'm gonna leave. I was so pissed because I just go straight to rage when I feel like my time is being wasted and that I wasn't given the correct information. This is not a drop off. This is what am I waiting for? I was like, I'm gonna go home. You can just text me when you're done if you don't get to take the car with you. Like, what the fuck? So she hurried up. She comes back in. She's like, okay. They were just bullshit in there, those people. That worked there. So I don't know, it was like a couple hours later, they called her. They were like, we didn't find anything wrong with your car. We drove it around. We tinkered with it or something like that, but like, we don't really hear the sound anymore. And they offered some other stupid explanation. And Alicia ate that shit up. I was like, "Are you fucking dumb?" So she's like, "Okay." And I get back in the car and like we go back to Monroe and I'm like, "Are you serious? There's no way they fixed that issue. They don't even know what the problem is. And that's a loud sound your car was making." She's like, "They said that the sound was gone." I was like, "Okay." So I drop her off and I come home. She comes home a bit later and I find out she gave him a $20 tip because they didn't charge her because obviously they didn't fucking find anything. And she's like, "Well, I feel bad that like you took the time to look at it and da da da." So there goes $20 we'll never see again. And she says that the car wasn't making a sound. Then the next day I ask, "Was your car making a sound?" "Not really." That means fucking yes. "Oh, only when I like back up." Well, that's when I heard it the most before. I was like, "Okay, so they didn't really fix anything." "Well, they said they couldn't, it's just one of those things." I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure." I said, "But we're still taking my car, okay?" She didn't like that answer. By the way, guys, she knows I'm on here talking about this. So, because my wife is cool like that. So anyways, where am I at with time? 17 minutes. Okay. So we bring the car back. She wants to fucking bring it back and have them look at it again. I said, "Are you serious?" She said yes. Oh, hold on, bitch. She wants to move. Come on, little lady. Okay, bye. Thank you. Okay. I have my mic rested on the arm of my chair. So I moved it for her. Anyways, because she was on the cat tree. Details. Anyways, da 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 da. Bring it back. Drop her off, or I don't know how that went, but did I drop her off? Yeah. Well, anyways, so the second time, this is what the dude fucking says. Now, at this point, four different people have fucking looked at her car. Four different people that work there. That's like more than half of who the fuck works there because it's not a big place. And you know what they said this time? She didn't even tell me they said this. I found this out like a couple of days after the fact because she knew better. They were like, we really looked again. It's like one of those like magic car problems where like you just can't find the source of it. It's just one of those things that happens. Not a big deal. You know, that's what they said to her. That's what they said to her. She just ate it up. Of course, they did not charge her because why would they charge her for nothing? So she leaves. And then I'm in the car with her. We were going somewhere and I heard boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. It was more. There were more of those sounds. They were louder. And I looked at her. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And she's like shaking her head because, like, I know I can come off as annoying, but at the same time, bitch, do something about your fucking car. So then I'm like reiterating again, we're taking my car. I'm not getting in this goddamn piece of shit. because we're gonna break down? Like, no. Are you fucking serious? Like, what is going on with your brain, lady? So then she finally agrees to take it to like the local dude who ends up finding the issue within the hour, fixes the car within 2 hours. Yeah, it was a little bit pricey, but Monroe definitely would have charged us at least double the amount that this dude did. He did it in way less time than Monroe would have. He was straight and to the point. He didn't treat her like a dumbass. And she even told them like what Monroe had said about like, oh, it's like a magic, one of those magic, mystery issues or whatever. And that's when Alicia told me that Monroe had said that. I'm like, bitch, I was like, are you know what I deserve? I deserve like a you're right, you were right. And so I leaned closer and I stretched my ear out. I'm like, fucking say it. It feels so great to be right, guys. So great. So I said, now we can take your car next week and you get to do most of the driving, pretty much all of it, which is what you like to do anyways. And you won't hear me like sitting in your passenger seat because like I was so pissed at that point that I was like, fine, let's go ahead and take your car. And when we break down, imagine how annoying it's going to be because I will not shut the fuck up about it. And I will also file this away in my brain. I will create a whole new category in my brain, a whole room just for this situation. And every day, for the rest of your fucking life, I'm going to bring something up about it because it makes me feel good because I was right about something. I'm ridiculous. I know. So, anyways, that was a little spiral thingy. But yeah. And then the other day we're taking Caesar to his follow-up vet appointment to check his T4 levels because he's on medication for his thyroid and la 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 la. And I asked Alicia to go with me to Caesar's appointment because he's older. And when it comes to the older cats, I want her there in case I'm given like some sort of news that they're not going to make it for much longer. Like, I don't know. I don't want to be sad by myself when it comes to the older ones. So she came with me, right? We're in the car. I'm driving because it's my car. She's got Caesar on her lap in the carrier, and Caesar does not like, he's like, cats don't like to drive. Like, you guys know. A lot of them are just meow, 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 meow. Caesar is a howler. Wow. I don't know if this mic is going to pick it up, but he howls and it is so sad. I usually end up crying when I'm trying to comfort him, like it's okay. He gets so anxious, like he starts panting, like this cat has anxiety. And so, oh, this was the day when the local car mechanic was calling her to say, "Hey, come pick your car up, we're done." So there was the same day as that, and we're driving to the vet. And Caesar is howling. It's so loud in that car, and we're trying to like calm him down. We're talking to him. Alicia's car, her phone goes off. She fucking answers it, and her phone, it was the loudest ring imaginable. She had it up high because she didn't want to not miss. She didn't want to miss the car from the guy or the call from the guy, and it was like ding 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 so loud. So I went into rage mode because I didn't like how that sounded in my head. Then you got Caesar howling, and then this bitch decides to, instead of just like send it to voicemail, fucking answers it and starts talking to the dude. And so she's like yelling over Caesar's howling, and there's all this noise going on in the car. I lose my shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you answer it? I was like, Caesar's like so loud right now. And like, I just was like, I lost my shit. She hangs up the phone and all she says is they close at 4. And it was almost 3. And sometimes we can be a bit longer at the vet that we go to, depending on like, because it's a small vet. So that sometimes they get a bit backed up. That's all she said was they close at 4, which indicated to me that that bitch wanted to be taken to her fucking car right now. I don't know. So anyways, I lost my shit. And I'm like, why would you take that phone call? Why would you answer the phone when all that's going on? That doesn't make any sense to me. And I lost my shit. And Caesar's still howling. And I just turned around because it wasn't that far. It was just back down the road, dropped her off at the vet. I said, don't fucking, or dropped her off at the garage. And I said, don't fucking come to the vet. I was pissed. Yes, I'm embarrassed on how I acted, but I'm just admitting it because that's what I did. And so I go to the vet with Caesar and everything's fine. We sit down and like just 2, 3 minutes later, Alicia walks through the door, and we make eye contact, and I glare at her, and I'm like, what did I say to you? I said, don't come here. She's like, I know, but I know you want me here. And I said, that's true. Sit down. Oh, God. 43, folks. I have a goal to like do better with these spirals. They're funny after the fact, but definitely not in the moment. Oh my god. It was terrible. Not to mention like being unmedicated, I have like no, it's not true. I have control. I feel like I have like less of it when it comes to like being in public and having these situations happen. And I don't know. I'm still working on myself, but it's funny now. It wasn't funny then. So, those are my spiral updates. Um I guess these are going to be a little bit longer episodes. Thank you if you still listen to them this long, because I just checked the time. A quick little POTS update. We went for a hike at Green Lakes, which is our favorite place to go, but we go other places too. But the reason I mentioned this is it was like a few days ago. It was like mid 70s, and her and I wanted to go and just be in nature, and we love Green Lakes. So we go there, and I decided that I was going to work with my POTS instead of against it. So for the first time, like I just went totally at my own pace instead of like whoever else is with me. And usually I'm the quicker walker. Like I walk fast and I still do, and I'm realizing like okay, that's suitable in some situations, but I don't have to be like a fast walker in all situations like I have been throughout my whole life. Like because my body doesn't agree with that anymore, and I accept that now. And so when we were at Green Lakes, I walked pretty slowly. And the reason why I was more mindful of my POTS was because like I didn't realize until we got to the park that I forgot to take an anti-nausea pill, and I didn't have any on me. I was like, "Oh fuck, here we go again." Because I can't just go do basic things like this anymore and not feel nauseous without a pill. So I decided, well, instead of go back home or not do this or just do it for like 5, 10 minutes and then feel nauseous and then leave, why don't I just pay more attention to my body? And so we were there for over an hour. Alicia never complained. I told her like why I was walking so slow because eventually I realized I hadn't said anything about why, and she was supportive of me. And so I didn't get to a point where I had to catch my breath. I didn't get to where my heart just went dun 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 because it doesn't take long to get overheated. I took breaks where I needed to take breaks. I didn't even need to drink any water that entire time because I wasn't thirsty. It was just like it was an amazing experience. And I also was like, okay, I'm having thoughts that there's people around me, behind me. Like, what are they going to think about me walking so incredibly slow? So I noticed that I still had thoughts of worrying what other people think. But that was all just like useful information for me. So overall, very good experience. And, you know, I don't know that I'll be able to do this when I'm with the kids. And, maybe I'll try. Because those girls and James, like, they're kids. They're so quick. Whatever. I'll figure that out. But, like, in the meantime, I think I'm just going to start doing this and not be, I didn't feel embarrassed by it overall. I was so proud of myself that I just decided to try hiking this way. And I got to enjoy the entire experience and not get nauseous and like none of that stuff. So I just wanted to share that, you know, it's better to work with your pots, I guess, than against it. And the next episode I do is probably going to be when we get back from our trip next week. We're going to go see, I think they're called the Dambo Trolls. I think that's the artist's name is Dambo. I do research about stuff like this the closer it gets. So, like, 2 days out is when I'm going to go on and, like, look up everything I can about this person that did these trolls. And my internet dad's been telling me about them because he's seen some too and sent me pictures. And they look really cool and way bigger than I thought that they would be. So I'm really excited. Um, Bella's excited about being able to come and stay here by herself. And um so I'm going to go pick her up on Tuesday, and we're going to go do whatever she wants to do, and then I'll take her here. And then Wednesday is Alicia's birthday. and we're going to be leaving as early in the morning because it's like 4 hours away to go to this place to go see these trolls. So I want to make sure that we have like hours of time to explore. Um, and then after that, we're going like to Old Forge to stay over in a place there. And then the next day, we're going to go and do things during the day. So Bella's going to have like a decent chunk of time to herself here. And I know that she's excited about that. And so like I sent her a preparation email, like here's what to expect next week. I'm gonna pick you up this day. And then I sent her like what we're where we're gonna be, addresses, and then I was like, and then Friday I'll take you back. Because Alicia, like we're gonna need to recharge that weekend because that's gonna have been a lot of stuff for us to have done. And I said, when I take you back, we can go and do a whole bunch of stuff that day too, because it gives Alicia time to herself, which she doesn't really get time to herself in the house because I'm always here. And, I want to give that to her. So it'll be a busy week next week for sure. Oh, hold on. I don't know what's going on with like my mouth. Um, I think it's starting to not work right. But anyways, so I'm excited about doing this, and of course I'm in preparation mode. So like I've made a list about lists. So like I have lots of lists I have to do. Like here's how this works. Here's how this works. Here's the schedule for the cats. And I was talking to Bella on the phone. I was like, I hope you don't mind. And she's like, oh my gosh. She's like, I was hoping that you would leave me lists so I know what to do and I don't have to like, wonder. And I thought to myself, no wonder we're two peas in a pod because she loves writing lists. She loves reading lists. Same here. So I got lots of lists to do, which is sadly exciting for me. Um, and then I don't know, like I'm just really glad to that we're going away for a bit because it's been actually years since Alicia and I have even left to go overnight somewhere. Just with like money issues and just crap going on in this country and like our schedules, her schedule, like she was in school for like we didn't really get to do a whole bunch, and now we're starting to do like way more stuff than we have been. So I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited about leaving and not having to worry about the cats because a human is going to be here with them, which is fucking cool. We've never got to have that before. So and yeah, so I'm really really excited about that. I just need to get away for a bit and go see some nature and some art. And I think that's all I have to say. So thank you very much for listening to another longer episode. And I hope this was relatable. Something in here, hopefully. Okay, goodbye.